All right, let's do some quick diagnostics here on the 511. So I do have this thing plugged into power. I am going to turn it on, and we want to be very cautious whenever doing this, right? You want to take care not to touch any line, not to ground yourself. Be very cautious about doing these tests, all right? And I would never encourage a customer to do this if I was over the phone. I would have them maybe pop the cover off, check fuses here, here, and here, put the cover back on and turn the power on. So I would not recommend walking a customer through this. But once I turn the power on, I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear me with the motor running, but basically I'm going to go between one of my grounding points here, and then I'll check my incoming voltage to the fuse here and my fuse output here, and that's going to confirm that my fuse is good, right? So I'll check each one of these, and then the fuse is down here. Now these two fuses at the top, they control the incoming power. If one of these pops, or both of them pop, the pump will still run because we're not running through this fuse, but pretty much everything else does. Typically if these pop, you'll get no control from the joystick, you'll get no rotation of the motor. If any of these pop, this is what's controlling rotation of the motor and the relays here. So that's the thing I want to check if I have no rotation but everything else works, including the joysticks. And then finally down here on the bottom I have two fuses for the 24 and 26 volts AC that's applying power to the bridge rectifier that controls my joysticks. So anything on the low voltage side, on the DC side, is making its way through these fuses. Okay. Up here I have my breaker, and when it pops it'll look like this with the red side down. To re-energize it, just press the black here. And we talked about this in one of the other sections, but just to review, once I've turned the power on, I can actually manually manipulate the directional rotation by pressing and momentarily holding the relay down manually, right? So let's go ahead and turn this on and check some voltage. So I'm going to the ground lug. Let's check the output of these two fuses. I have 125 volts there, and I have 215 volts there. That's great. Now these first two I should have about 125 volts. Yep, so I got 124. I have 125, and over here I have 216. So I know all my fuses are good. They're doing what they should do. I should have 220 volts AC coming into the transformer, 24 and 26 coming out. So let's check that really quick. So this is my 24 volt side. Let's see what we actually get. It is going to be different. Yeah, so I have 28.5 volts on the 24 volt side. On the 26 volt side, I've got about 30 volts. So I know my transformer is working relatively well, doing what it should be doing. All right. I can also check voltage coming out of these two low voltage fuses here to confirm that they work. I want to shut that off for just a second while we go back to this bridge. So I do have a capacitor here on the bridge rectifier. Every once in a while, from moving these around, the weight of that capacitor will cause this to vibrate, and you might lose a connection on the bridge rectifier. The way that'll manifest itself is everything here will seem to work, but the joystick won't, because you won't have that DC voltage that the bridge rectifier is creating. So all you do is you kill the power, remove the cover, wait a couple of minutes for this capacitor to discharge in case it is charged, and just plug it back in. It's as simple as that. Fire it up and you should be good to go in that case. Let's go ahead and check our relays. Oops. Let's go ahead and check our relays. We'll put the power back on, and I should be able to rotate right here. So if I have a situation where my joystick's working, everything else is controlled just fine, but I'm not able to rotate, I can come in here and see if the problem is maybe a broken wire between the control side of the relay and my joystick, right? So if I cannot rotate the chuck with the joystick, but I can rotate it manually right here, I know my problem is downstream, right? Between this and the joystick.